Hey there guys, how you doing? This is Ice9 and I'm doing a Madden Mobile video. Don't know who positional heroes are going to be in the morning. When they come out, I'll cover them. It's my day off, so I'll go through the players, make any recommendations, etc. EA has changed some things through Mudhead. Some of the really nice people on there have been able to figure out how to, for example, look into the game code and set their phone basically into the future and see what sets are coming out. But EA has kind of changed the way that they have posted these things. So, we're not able to see anymore a day in advance, which is unfortunate for a lot of people who would like to get prepared for the next positional hero. I guess the good thing about it is that this time that it's just all players and trophies. So if you've got the trophies already, you should have them regardless of who the positional hero is, and then it's just a matter of getting the right players to put at the position. When it comes out tomorrow, I don't know if I'll do them, judging by the two positional heroes we got last week. Seems to me I want to save my elite trophies and my gold trophies for other things that come along as it gets harder and harder to improve my team. And, considering we don't know what else is in store, I don't know if I want to waste all those resources on the positional heroes at this point. We'll have to see what positions they are. I hope they are not the kicker and the punter, because that means they'd probably be 98s, and to get the most out of it, it'd be really nicer if it was later in the year when hopefully they'll be 99s, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, so we're starting here in the 21 tournament screen. We're playing Heroic Destiny, and we are getting it handed to us by these guys. They're ranked number 10. They're really, really good. And we're going to go through a few drives, and we're going to see what we're doing in our drives. And here I'm going to check. Nobody's playing me as of yet. I'm going to try to get a little bit of revenge. I got live counter today. And I was playing Kill All Hackers. Nice. Love that name. Alright, so I was playing that guy, and here we'll go through my drive first, and then we'll kind of review some drives. We're going to talk about a couple of different things, and then we're going to do some gameplay. I'll play a little bit of head-to-head for the video. But, and this is, again, not showing off or anything. I put up 21. I didn't go for 2-point conversions. Kind of played conservative against a 103 defense. And even a lot of times when it's not countered on the toss, it results in a stop. So I played it nice and safe and just kicked the point after. But basically, my first drive against this guy, this is playing my defensive unit. It is exactly what I have in there. So, bunch dive, I saw it the first play. It was a critical on bunch dive. I do that to see what kind of defense if I'm playing against, because the first play, 44%, it basically tells you all you need to know, probably. That means that they have 3 run, short, pass counters in there, ultimate freeze, the pack defensive unit, and then they probably have 2 long pass and play action ones in there. So I went right after it with the long pass play, managed to not catch a counter on the long second down. Then I get sacked. And then I'm incomplete, going to tight end corner on 2nd and 12 because the longer down shotgun play action's not quite as good depending on those situations, even though the percentage was a little bit higher, and I did catch criticals on both. 3 criticals in the first 4 plays. Ouch. Then I did go to strong PA tight end corner because I wanted something that was a little bit lower chances, even though the play action is not as good on third and long. I just decided I'd take my chances on it. Did manage to convert. Very typical plays. I wouldn't run against a hard counter unit because they probably would be countered. Then strong PAFL middle, didn't complete it. Spread PA outs to Marshall. And getting down there at the goal line, and it was just a matter of finding a short passing play that wasn't countered. 38% is obviously very, very high percentages against that, but I managed to get in on Tripp's tight end stick. Second play, using play action almost exclusively and long pass plays because there was one less collectible. This particular defensive unit was stacked a little bit more, excuse me, against the run and short passing plays. So I used all long pass plays right up to the goal line where I used motion cross, which is a pretty good play in a goal line situation, or at least from the 10-yard line. All right, third drive, I got live countered. And the thing is, I still made the completion to Sanders. It was a low severity. I managed it, so it almost felt like normal. Sanders got really loose as usual on that right side, crossing the field, was able to make that completion, but I switched immediately to short passing plays and played how I play a lot of times in head-to-head with the short passing plays, which are usually less countered, although with the better running game, with people with ultimate free setups, they're countering the run more. So I'm seeing more and more counters on the short passing game. But I knew that, I figured at least, I didn't know, but I figured he would try to counter, have a hard counter unit that took out all the big three of the play action plays, which is twins, PA cross, FL middle, and strong tight end corner. So try to run there, 24%, that's still pretty high. But the short passing I knew wasn't going to be as much. And so I managed to not catch counters all the way to the third touchdown. So adjusted to it, actually did the right thing and got kind of lucky with some of the counters and was able to put that up. Some of the other guys in my league, I was going to go through some of their drives, but we're not doing as well against this type of setup. We've been adjusting to the changes in league to league pretty good, but we've had some pretty good opponents up to this point, pretty easy opponents, and these guys are definitely not easy. They have really good teams and they have really good game plans. A lot of them have ultimate freeze setups in there. But if we look and see what these guys are doing for their drives, this is against my buddy Said, and look at that 52% chance, and he takes a sack. It's a critical, but he goes to smash, he goes to short passing and running. He adjusts instantly, short pass and run, short pass and run. From the next drive, short pass and run, all short pass and run, and smash, he just breaks it for a big one on that third drive. It doesn't get countered on any conversions, which is just kind of bad luck. Let's look and see what Blue did here. And more head-to-heads coming in. So run, long pass to the halfback on the angle, then run, short pass, run. And, some of these run plays, if you've got a hard unit in there, a hard counter unit, you really got to take down some of these plays. Strong blast, dive weak. These plays can't be open for people. If you've got a hard unit, in there, in my opinion, you've got to shut down some of these plays. And we could kind of see there's just not real high percentages against the run, and they took advantage of that, is what they did. And it's always a trade-off when you're putting in a game plan, so it's really hard to try to counter everything, especially against really good players like this. But, I mean, we can kind of see what he does. The angle, open, catches a couple counters here and there, actually really high percentages against short passing. And he does not convert on HB option on 4th and 15. Just good straight up defense on Gak's part on his team. So, but once again, some of these plays, wow, 4th and 11 to Jones for 64-yard touchdown. Pretty good, and he gets stopped on the conversion, though. All right, so Richard here held 212, and let's see who he played. He played A-Train, and he gets picked by Peters, which Peters will do that a lot. Since they've upped the difficulty here in League to League, Peters is showing up a lot more. He already shows up on medium countered plays. That's a very common situation to get picked. But I'm noticing now in League to League, Peters has really become a force against Jones or anybody else. So he got picked on an uncountered play. And then he played Truth, so he switched it up and he played Truth. And pretty high percentages against the long passing plays. So he does a couple longs, goes to short. Catches another critical on a strong Twins dive. That's also a good percentage against the run. That's a soft counter percentage that'll get you a lot of fires out of the unit. In other words, it'll fire more often. And then some long, some short, a little bit more running. But he gets caught in the 30% chance on the strong toss and doesn't run it in. And even players this good, this is why I'm increasingly kicking points after, because it's getting more and more difficult to run countered tosses in there, even with the edge speed, because if a linebacker gets in the backfield, which happens a lot, unblocked, usually the running back's not moving quickly enough to truck, and you just get stopped, well short of the goal line. So, all right, so third drive here, catches some more counters, and 100% here against that strong blast play, which is a really good one to hard counter. He goes to some other things, and once again, 30% stops him on the toss, and so he doesn't get it in. Only 12 points. All right, so D-Lib's 97, and Frankie against Frank here. So FB Flair, let's see what happened. Just caught a fumble. Gordon fumbled. I don't know if he was trucking or what happened, but caught a fumble. Second drive here, catching a lot of counters. 24% is a good, strong number. PA stutter post, I bet he didn't expect that one being hard countered. And gets stopped on the conversion. And then he's just getting kind of unlucky, 24% counters firing more like 50%. But there he goes. He's running some plays now, getting downfield. And then he gets caught. 4th and goal, strong Twins PA cross. And play selection, in my opinion, not real good, because with the play action plays, a lot of times when you have those long type situations, or if you're in a goal line situation like that, a lot of times the defensive end will not bite on the play action, on the fake handoff, and just come in and sack the quarterback. And it looks like he tried to extend the play a little bit, but that DE didn't bite and got him, is basically what happened. So that's darn good defense against, a top 10 league. Your Giants fan here, he pulled off 12 and against Poperator here, so he just caught a critical at a bad time there. He gets out of it with strong flood. Post corners, guys running a lot of plays. A lot of different kind of plays. Takes a sack on first down on trips corner strike, which I have seen. Sometimes the looks that you get, you got to look for that outlet because the pass protection's just not really good on that play a lot of times, but just doing different things, being nice and patient. Some short passing plays, some off plays. Runs the Y stick, still gets a conversion. Or still gets a completion, I should say, on 100% countered Y stick, medium counter. Gets it in. And, motion cross, he just manages to get it to Marshall, who I assume is the slot on the play. And there you go, an uncountered strong toss with Gordon that doesn't get in. And third drive here. And then he gets picked by Peters. So Peters showing up in film again. And once again, this is a top 10 league, obviously, in Heroic Destiny. These guys are really good. All right, so Blast gets countered 100% against Ativ. He's got a pretty good game plan. Motion cross, but he wasn't expecting that. Weak eye dig. He does get out of the fourth down. Catches a counter on weak eye double and gets it in, but once again 30% weak eye PA post and trying to rush, but it's no good because all 2-point conversions are countered critical. It just makes it more difficult, especially as defenses get better in this game. And this happened last year too, before they had defensive units. I noticed with some teams, especially if I had a little bit better team than they did in league championships, I could run a play that was countered and get yards out of it, usually running plays, of course. And I would still get yards at it. It was very difficult to stop that. But as defenses got to 90 and certainly 95 plus, that stopped happening. The defenses were in the backfield on the counters and typically tackling for a loss at that point and forcing more fumbles. And that's one thing to keep in mind too. And we're going to talk about frustration in this game right now and some of the different things that people don't like about this game. But one thing I will say is if you get countered and your guy fumbles the ball, that's because you got countered. If you got countered 100%, you basically, the opponent had your number. It's not the player's carry number that's at fault necessarily. It's the fact that you got countered in particular. So second drive, not making it easy. Counters are firing. He's still getting yards, still getting completions. And once again, gets countered 30% on that weak eye PA post. He was just unlucky on that. And last drive here, so he finally did get the toss for a conversion at 40%. But definitely made him work for it. And speed killers here. We know he got some of those points on defense. We're not going to talk about that. But he got intercepted and still put up 25 to give you an idea. And but here you go. So against Steeler Pat, that's a real strong 34% against Trips tight end stick. Then he's catching more counters and more counters and more counters, and some of them are 100%, and just getting through it, and there's somebody fighting for a touchdown. And then the last play, he plays Pat again, tries some different running plays, still catches a couple counters, and he just kicks the extra point. He's like, I'm not going to do this anymore. Let's check out Paul's here, and he put up 24. So let's see what this guy did. This is, again, a top leg. And he takes the sack on HB angle. That was the first thing he was going to go for. And we'll see what version of Vic that he's playing after we're done looking at this. But catches a 6% counter on Y stick. Strong Twins PA cross. FL drag. More or less unimpeded. Bunch dive and pitch are two run plays that I like to use that aren't usually countered. And some different things, just catching counters here and there, but the percentages weren't strong enough, and then strong toss, good enough to get around on that particular play. And look at those 6%ers fire every now and again, but this guy knows what plays that he has open, and bunch dive, even though it gets countered, medium is not strong enough against him, and he gets in with Gordon and gets the conversion. So here we go. What else can we look at here? Force put up 24 points. And against A-Train, this guy's drives against A-Train. He's catching, but he still finds plays to get it all back. As long as you make good plays, you have to be very careful throwing it in coverage now. Even uncountered now, there are picks. There are pick sixes. It is definitely dangerous to try to go downfield. But the way this guy was playing it, even cross up, 100%, he gets it to Jones for 19 yards. It's kind of like, what else do I have to do? And he still gets yards out of strong IFB middle, too. What else do we have to do to get a stop? And couldn't stop this guy. Very, very good job on his part. Managing drives, going after big plays when he had to. For example, there he goes on first down. He gets countered, critical on FB flare, and gets sacked. Next play, he gets it all back. Then incomplete, another incomplete, and then fourth down, he manages trips corner strike. He completes, and he gets a touchdown out of it. So we'll go through and look at the rest. Krusty the Clown here. Go through his drives, angle, motion cross, gets countered. Pretty high percentages right here against A-Train. Soft percentages, and then against Truth, another pretty good soft percentage, and 9 yards out of blast on a medium, obviously not strong enough. FL drag, motion cross, interesting play on 3rd and 13. Then he's just kind of hunting some plays, and he manages to get a stop, catching 2 critical counters in a row at 28%. Pretty good job at defense. Counters stepping up at the right time. High enough percentages. And he scores on that 3rd drive, though. And we'll go through here. Bengal bump. Trying to run the football, gets picked by Sherman, who I believe is his nickel or dime. And, Sherman will do that. People don't like his speed, and you shouldn't put him at 1 or 2, not with Team of the Year Julio all over the place, that's for sure. But he plays with a good nickel and a good dime. Probably both positions he does pretty well. The reason I put Rhodes in nickel and Sherman at dime is because Sherman's taller and jumps higher. So even with the speed difference and a dime, a lot of times that guy is playing back a little bit. So it gives him time to adjust to the play and make a play, which is what Sherman did right there. Then next drives, he adjusts short passing, some running, and trying different running plays to see if he could get it in there, but pretty good job. managed that drive pretty well. So it's a pretty good league, and it's very instructional to play guys like this. I wish we competed with them a little bit better, but I mean, that's just the way it happens. So it's been somewhat of a long video, but I'm going to play Alex here because how often do you get to play a 106 defense? And we were nothing going into overtime, and he picked sixth or something. So let's see what happened. Chancellor makes the play, and he was driving. He was deep downfield, but Chancellor got him for the touchdown. So against the 106, let's take another look. It'd be really nice to score. And let's see. This guy has an interesting unit. I recall this now. Spread FL drag 38%. I figure, okay. So that means he's got 3 collectibles, short and run plays. And then he's got 2. And so I tried the tight end corner and got hard countered 100%. So he's got a combo in there, which is interesting. My second drive, strong PA FL middle, and he's got a hard counter unit out there now, something totally different, or a combo, which is a really interesting, confusing setup that I had not seen before. Then my softies are firing on him all over the place, and then he gives up the pick 6. So best thing I could do, so strong IPA FL middle, don't run that. Don't run seam 678. I am going to try to run the football because all I need to do is not give up a pick 6 back. But it's a 106 defense. It's pretty awesome. Should have actually went through the squad. We're going to do that before we take a kickoff here. We're going to check out this guy's awesome squad. Alright, so Alex here, he's got defensive boosters in there in offense, but he's got both Vic and CJ2K. He's got more in there probably for the boost, assumedly for the boost. He's got Gurley in there boosted up to 94, and then he's actually got a couple of heroes on this team boosting strength. Also a game changer boosting awareness. He's got a couple players taking away strength, so he's got those strength boosters in there to try to make some of that up. And then on defense at a 106, so he's got Bosnishki, and he's got Von Miller, he's got Dom Von Miller. He does run Jamie Collins at left outside linebacker. He's got Boss Strahan, he's got Ware at the other side, so 2 best defensive ends in the game. He has White just like me. He has Short just like me. He's got Peters at corner 2, and he's playing Super Bowl Butler 1. He's got Boss Dawkins and Boss Cross, and he's just got all kinds of shit on this team. So what we're going to do is we are going to win against the 106 defense. And hopefully, I'm going to try to score. So I'm not going to kneel. I'm not going to just run. I'm going to play to win a little bit against him. And let's see how I do that. It's critical. +4 difference. All right, so we're going to go cross up. We're going to go to Johnson. And look at that. Will you look at that? And we win straight up. That's a counter. Not a chance. Tried to truck, but not a chance. But still get the victory, and that's satisfying against the 106 defense for sure. And pretty cool. Alright, so we're going to go into the next part of this video. I don't have much to cover in the way of promos right now. Some of that is unfortunate, as I mentioned in my last video. They've got all these things with 95s out there. We've got game time. Last one. Yes, I got a bronze player. Hopefully we have a silver medal master. I hope they do something like that. And guys, what it comes down to, I was reading Mudhead today, and there's a lot of things like MMG, giving up Madden Mobile, at least for the time being. I wouldn't be surprised if he came back. Or, some of the, Justabro, or just some of the other guys on YouTube who are really frustrated with the game right now. And this is my third year playing, and I know I've talked about this before, but I'm going to talk about it again. Because it's important, because it's been instructional to me. It's taught me some things about my outlook on the video game that I'm playing, and etc. And am I having fun, or why am I doing this, etc. And first year, just to mention again, I started playing Madden Mobile, basically playing friends on Facebook. Guys at work, we were all playing each other. And I was just the one who got a little bit more hardcore than the other guys and had to kick everybody's butt. So, I was really going after upgrading my team. And, I had the bug. I got hooked on the game. So I played throughout the year, but I played only a little head-to-head. I didn't play a ton of head-to-head. I didn't get to All Madden or Hall of Fame or anything like that. I was focusing most on positional heroes when it came out, trying to make coins, trying to put together the best team possible. The Easter promo and that Easter Rod Woodson card is an example, and Mobile Masters, which were now they're Ultimate Legends the last 2 years, getting all the best players I could, going after Gauntlet and Domination, even though I started late, I got it done in the month before Gauntlet came out. It was all about the team, and getting the overall up there. Ended up being a 105 overall. But at the end of the year, I got really burnt out. Really, really burnt out, And this is what happens every year when it's the off season. It's not football season. There's not as many promos. There's not as many people playing. And when you don't have those more casual players that'll play during the NFL season, and it's only the lunatics that are left, like us, who are still playing this game, the economy gets dicey. Anyways, all 3 years I've seen it happen. The bottom drops out. Everybody's got good teams, or a lot of people have really, really good teams. And so those kind of bottom end players, or those decent elites, aren't worth anything anymore because everybody already has better players. So that player only matters as part of a set, like positional heroes or etc. So that means that ripping packs gets more and more difficult because you can't make money, can't make coins in the game to sustain ripping packs. Now, year one, I did spend money. I have spent money on this game. In year one, I pulled Ultimate Legend, or at that time, Mobile Master, Larry Allen from a pro pack. It was on Mudhead. I posted, I think I did like 4 million, 5 million in pro packs. Got Larry Allen, got a bunch of a 99 center, I forget who it was, Mangold. I pulled like 3 of those in the course of that. The pack odds were much better year one. They were not as good year two. Pack odds are not nearly as good year three, and EA has definitely adjusted the pack odds in accounting for coin buyers and sellers. So it's been very difficult, more frustrating. this year. But even the first year when I got such good pack odds, when all you're doing and all you're worrying about is building your team and the next great player and how am I going to make my team better, etc., it's a very empty gaming experience. You're just chasing overall, is all you're doing. You're just chasing the next promo to amuse you. And it's just, not as good. Now, second year, I took a little bit of a break, here and there from the game. But the second year, as part of EA, very smartly made League Play part of getting the Mobile Master, which was OBJ. That's why I joined a league. I didn't join a league because I wanted to do a multiplayer game where I'm always competing against people. That was just kind of happened because once you're in a league, you want to do well. And, I wanted my league to do well. So that took a life of its own for me. And that's why I'm playing this game. I like the promos. I like getting better players. I like building a team. But overall, I like being in my league. I like us improving and trying to get better at this game, all hanging out and talking, getting to know people, etc. That is what Madden Mobile is all about for me. And all I could say, because I see this every year now with that Mudhead, this is my third year, and this is about the time when people are complaining about there's no promos, there's nothing going on, it's getting super difficult to make coins, and all these things are true. But one thing to keep in mind, we're going to have positional heroes. Hopefully these players get better. We're going to have 2 players a week that you could get. Unfortunately now we're going to have to guess who they are. So the thing to do is to prepare at the positions that you want and get the necessary golden elites to try to prepare. And it should be easier to do that now that people don't have beforehand knowledge of who the player's going to be. So just go after the player that you need. For example, I need a center. So I know that I could prepare for that and do that. So that's something. Also, we have to keep in mind, the reason I think that we have, part of the reason I think, we've got these campus heroes. These guys are going to get better. And right now we got a bunch of no names. And, stats, this Gerhardt card isn't too bad from all accounts from what I've heard. Pretty strong, good trucking, good carry. Nice, reliable, halfback, pretty decent catch. So we got some good cards in here, and some of these cards are going to get better. So they're going to come out. I don't know with the pack odds and the way that they are, now that a lot of the coins are out of the game and a lot of the coin sellers have been shut down, which should normalize the economy. I think that part of the reason that there's not much going on right now, though, they're just doing season stars and Ultimate Legends haven't really taken off.